Hi, everyone. I'm Allison Kinnear. Today we are talking about the first reason to feel like an imposter, like the first good reason to feel like an imposter. If this sounds familiar, it's because I already recorded a video like this, but apparently I just learned there was no audio that came through. So fingers crossed that the audio is coming through now. All of this comes from the amazing book, The Secret Thoughts of Successful Women by Dr. Valerie Young. And we're going to talk about the first reason. I love this reason because it's so powerful. And I love how Dr. Young phrases this. You were raised by humans. If you were raised by humans, then chances are there were messages that you received in your childhood about success, about achievement, about failures, and all of that gets embedded in our psyche depending on how we interpret it and what kind of stew we were steeped in. So if your family was ultra competitive and, why are you getting a B? You should be getting an A, then you may put extra pressure on yourself to achieve. Or if your family was like, everything you do is amazing, it's always all good, you may start to go, is that actually true though? Like, if I'm being praised all the time, then there's got to be something I'm not that great at. Like, what are you holding back or what are you hiding from me? Or if you were someone who achieved all the time and maybe it just was ignored, it wasn't looked at, it wasn't paid attention to, then you can feel like, gosh, anything I do, it doesn't really matter. So these messages from childhood really form in our psyche and really interpret our, they create a filter in our minds on how we look at achievement, how we view success, how we view mistakes and failures. It all adds up. And so, one of the things that can happen, families can be like, oh, I don't want you to get too big for your britches. Like, I'm not going to put a lot of praise on you. That can feed into this belief that, maybe I'm not good enough. Or maybe you've been told you're not good enough. You're going to have to work extra hard. All of these messages can feed into that belief of maybe I don't belong here. I don't know if I can trust my own achievements. I don't know if my successes actually mean anything. Or maybe my failures mean extra. Maybe I'm not allowed to make mistakes here. So all of that is just, kind of the messy reality of having parents as humans, or having humans for parents. Um, so what can we do? Number one, the first thing you can do is become aware. What are the internal thoughts? What are you telling yourself? When you make a mistake, or if you finish doing a big project and you receive praise, what is your reaction? And just take a look at it. I know for me, when I would first receive compliments, I always was like, "Oh, it's okay. It's nothing. No big deal. No, it's okay." And it's like swatting away every acknowledgement. The only thing I allowed in were the negative thoughts. This happens at performance review time, right? You get your thing, you just skip over all the good stuff and you hyper focus on the last 2 to 3 sentences for areas of development. That can be a pattern. Well, don't get too big for your britches. Don't let those successes come in. And you know what? The things you need to work on, you really need to work on those things. That kind of way of being is just feeds into imposter syndrome. So take a look. What are your habits of mind? What do you tell yourself? And does any of it remind you of maybe taking a look at your family, like any of these, so-called, maybe their values or ways of being, the cultural norms inside your family of origin, are any of them similar? And then to kind of be able to tease that apart, right? Like, oh, this was the stew I was steeped in, but that doesn't mean that means I actually don't belong here. Perhaps that's just my filter that I have from childhood. Okay. And then the other thing is, talk to yourself like you would your best friend. So this becomes really important. when you can kind of identify some of those internal thoughts, it becomes really powerful and really important to bring some self compassion to yourself, to talk to yourself like you would your best friend. And what I mean by that is your best friend, chances are, if you made a mistake, wouldn't be like, gosh, you better clean that up because you're going to get in trouble if you don't do that. Gosh, that was really dumb of you. Our best friends aren't going to say that to us. Or if we just finish something big that we're excited about, our best friend is not going to be like, well, you made it this time, but what about next time? Right? No, our best friends are gonna celebrate with us when there's something to celebrate about, and they're going to empathize with us when we fall down and be like, "Oh my gosh, I get that. I totally get that. I've been there too." Right? So we can offer that to ourselves. We can parent ourselves the way we wanted to be parented. And that doesn't mean our parents are bad. It doesn't mean, anything is wrong. It just means everybody's doing the best they can with what they have, and during the time in which they were doing raising kids. And so to have that grace for your parents, and then to take the matter into your own hands. How can I bring myself the compassion that I need? How can I parent myself in the way that I need right now, so that those childhood messages aren't interfering with your day-to-day life, and kind of the agony that can happen when you're in the throes of imposter syndrome? All right. That's what I have for you today. If you want to learn more about me and my work, you can check it out at AlisonKinnear.com. And please check out the other 6 amazing videos on imposter syndrome. There's so much more to share with you, so many more good reasons to feel like an imposter. It is not all about you. There are reasons that can feed into this feeling of like, I don't know, maybe they made a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't be here. I don't know if I fit in here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. Um, or, oh gosh, maybe I'm going to get fired, or maybe I'm going to get in trouble, right? There's many good reasons. So check them all out. The 7 good reasons to feel like an imposter. And I will see you next week. Take care.